So since we discussed all those elements related to things more, to the related to the field of psychology, I would like to take it further, but more within the context of, the corporate world, the corporate realm, and how things could work. I mean, first off, a lot of people try to enhance this ethics or moral training, including Professor, Polzak, who came up with the idea that we can actually introduce this nasal spray, to induce oxytocin in people to make them like each other more. But again, this is something I want to say that I want to stay away completely from any ways of manipulating other people. First of all, it's really weird, you want to manipulate people to make them ethical. Well, the whole premise is just ludicrous. So therefore, we're talking about here about this ability to have this interpersonal neural synchronization that allows a lot, to happen, given the level of trust established between people. And that's what Professor of Harvard Business School, Amy Cuddy, talks about, that anyone who meets another person, asks himself this first question: can I trust this person? And the second question invariably would be, can I respect this person? Well, this is something I talked about in my article, called Integrity Crisis, published in a yearbook 2021 on global ethics and compliance. That the fact is, if you can answer these two simple questions, then you can move forward. And then I realized, after having worked with a lot of business executives, I was able to establish trust quickly. And therefore, people that otherwise have that very well developed intuition, they knew that, okay, we can allow this person to state his case. And then I moved on to another stage, in terms of, business ethics training and stuff, having the credentials needed for those business executives to see that I am, I'm prepared. I've got achievements and credentials needed for them, after having established that trust, that they can actually listen to what I've got to say. And so that in turn allowed, that to have that deeper exchange and interaction and take things to a new level. But one thing I've been thinking about, that how can I make those changes stick? I mean, I could be really hopeful and ambitious to actually change someone's behaviors, or, help someone, undergo some transformation, so in the end they embrace, business ethics concept and the concept of values. Well, that definitely sounds ambitious, because a lot of people far more formidable than me tried that before. But then I realized that after having spent enough time in that simulated emotional kind of shared body state, that I was able to secure changes, as it turned out, permanently. And to me, it was like a revelation. It was a complete breakthrough. I realized that I synchronized, business ethics as a sort of like outlandish concept out there in the eyes of many business executives who've got a lot more pressing tasks, running their companies, and at the same time, the field of psychology to allow that to happen without having months and months of coaching and therapy. So what's this simulated body state was about? It actually was based on the feedback I got from my clients, so to speak. It was very pleasant enough, and it sort of like brought back this feeling of joy and exhilaration, sort of like of a child suddenly relieved of burden of accumulated human, fears, trauma, guilt, and what have you. So, and then I started like really running some checklist on how people, would report the changes that they went through. And it was quite a discovery for me, because first off, it was like just this mental detox phase, that all that, accumulated stuff, that human junk, was expunged, flushed out completely as a result of continuous staying in that simulated body state. And then this attained harmony and peace, and the fact that people felt that they were, that child again, but at the same time retaining all their wisdom, their, traits of character, and their experience and their perception of the world. So it's not like something else was brought in from the outside. But what's more, what I discovered was quite interesting, that right after all that has been removed, certain hidden abilities were unlocked. So people discovered that they had a surge or a boost in creativity, or lots of other things that sort of like were there dormant, but suddenly they were released under full control of that person. So when we talk about that someone became a better version of himself, it's actually that's very close to describing the ultimate state of a person having gone through this initiative of mine called the Transformative Business Ethics Initiative, Teebei, that the person has indeed become his best version. Technically, anything that's physically possible to attain suddenly manifested itself. So therefore the person was able to really harness and be in full control of a newly acquired abilities. Again, it's not like changing the mindset or traits of character. None of that. That all was left intact. But the acquisition of the same innate abilities that are of so much importance to any professional. So we're talking about like it's a combo of a personal and professional growth within a very compressed, just a matter of hours stretched over a week or a week and a half. It's an amazing achievement. So when I shared that with Melinda Fouts, who is an amazing person, based on her over 2 decades of working directly with business executives and an ability to work as an executive coach and as a psychotherapist, gave her an insight into what I'm talking about. That's why she decided to work with me, both of us joining forces to see what comes of it. And I'm really looking forward to our first sessions and our first sessions with clients and our first test, like the field test. And I will stay tuned. I will tell you all about it.